Battlefield 6. Such a good song. Almost as good as a Game of Thrones song. It has that really flowy theme that just goes, it's wavy, just has that flick. Oh my god. Like every time I hear that song, even all the different variations throughout all the games, it just gets me going. God damn. It's a good game. I had some weird problems with it though. Got it a little late. Not long beforehand, I got a PS5 Pro. So I was like, dude, this game is gonna look great. It's gonna look dope. It's gonna play good. All these things. Pro enhanced. But literally, like, the first... As far as the campaign goes, the first section of it, the first part, the first minute, there's like this flag. It had these weird popping in and out of textures. And if there was any patches or updates, it pretty much would have happened by now. As far as like graphically, if there was anything like that that they would have did at all after release. Like graphically, it was just too ambitious. It really felt like playing Cyberpunk for the first time. Obviously, this is like kind of a big release because like 2042 was big too, but it was just multiplayer and that kind of was dumb. And you know, futuristic. I don't know, it was a weird like middle ground. So 6 comes out and like, oh, the campaign's back, it's gonna be fun, woo, yay, next gen. It was, I don't know, it's like, it looked really good. The campaign, the details, the sharpness, the clarity. But what I noticed instantly when I got the damn thing was they're trying to copy COD. I even took some clips during, and I was like, what is up with all this Call of Duty? There's like a dam that looked just like the cover of like when you start up Warzone or an old version of Warzone or something. But even before I actually started playing, there's like texture packs, like HD texture packs for multiplayer and campaign. I was like, what the hell, dude? I don't think I've ever seen that before. It's just the game. Like, why are all these different weird little like install options? Like, if there is HD, that's what I want. But Call of Duty does a similar thing. As far as installations, they'll have campaign pack, multiplayer pack, all this stupid shit. But at least like texture-wise, they're like, oh, do you want to like live texture rendering or something? Like, oh, this takes up blah 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 gigabytes. I never even touched that stuff. I was like, dude, I don't want anything fucking with anything. Just let me play the damn game for what it is. But if anything, I think the HD stuff made it look worse. Because it looked really great, but it was almost too much. Like even the Pro couldn't... I don't know what the problem was. I don't know what it's like on PC or Xbox or whatever, but... Like I've played Battlefield 1 and 5 and 4 and some of Hardline, 2042. Obviously these are older games, but I don't think I've ever seen that before. And it's weird, I just feel like Battlefield is as successful and good as they are. There's two military games, just COD and Battlefield. Everything else is whatever. Battlefield's known for its multiplayer, it's much more underrated, it's known for its vehicles, good campaigns, stories. I prefer Battlefield way over COD as far as As much as entertaining as COD campaigns can be, Battlefield is much more grounded and raw and pure and straightforward and simple and basic and easy, but it's effective. And COD is just all over the place with all their different series and whatever it is that they're doing. COD 7 was was shit. And then I was like, okay, maybe this game will make up for that. When I think back of 4 and 5 and 1, like, this one was so bad. It was just so uninteresting and bland and plain and boring and lame, and it was so... They were really banking on the whole just, oh, modern warfare type thing. I like that they went back to basics. They did what works, and I'll give them that, where credit's due, but it just didn't have any depth. It didn't have any... There wasn't really much of a story. If anything, it felt a lot more like COD. All the... Like, oh, there's a big bad guy. Everything's cliche, stereotypical, niche. It's just kind of overdone and saturated. I was just kind of disappointed because it's like, okay, Battlefield multiplayer, it'll vary from game to game because of the eras that it does, the time, if anything, the technology, the advancement. Whether we're going back to World War II or World War I or modern times, the future, whatever, they've kind of done it all at this point. If anything, this was definitely closer to 4 because it was just kind of just normal, regular. But the story was just cheesy and tacky and generic, and it really did feel like COD. I think COD back in the day, the campaigns were fun. But lately, they've just been kind of gross. So I don't know, I saw a little bit too much COD. I had texture problems. The game looked great, but it almost looked too good. They really were kind of commercializing and marketing, like, oh, this looks great, all the destructiveness, and like, it looked great for me, and it looks great recording it, but I think it's so much to process too, and you're trying to do other things with it. It's like, it's a lot. There's so much going on, which is good. It really does simulate a battlefield, just like all these other games have been doing this whole time. But this one just feels different. It feels like it doesn't have that heart, that soul. Like, the multiplayer is so mindless, and like me, I love the tanks, and I just sniping. I just go around, do my thing, do my best, try my hardest. I mean, whatever I can do, moderately, casually, chill. But the campaign was just so like, it really leaves like a sour taste in your mouth. It's like, yeah, it could have been better. Disappointing. It's probably around 10-ish hours like the other ones. I was also having audio issues, like the cutscenes are really quiet, and then the gameplay's loud. There's way too many options and tabs. But you spend like an hour going through that and trying to fine-tune the audio and do whatever you gotta do to make it as smooth as possible to play the damn thing. But even the menu, it felt so much like COD. I was like, what is up with all these tabs, man? I know, especially Battlefield and COD, really, they have all these like just non-necessary options, accessibility. Like, I don't know what half the stuff is. Or like aim curvature, obviously, like, you've seen it all by this point, like deadlock settings, like all this nonsense. Just give me sensitivity, give me my audio settings, let me try to fine tune it, even though it usually doesn't end up really carrying over for the cutscene and the game unless they're separate, and even still. It just felt like a constant struggle, visually, audio, the story, everything just, it wasn't. I think they hyped it up a little too much, like you expected too much, maybe. The single player was fine.
Axe got ahead of us!
Where's the other Bella servant?
Weapon 3!
It's almost like they knew that, like, hey, we're gonna bring the campaign back, but it just felt so half-assed. Like, I'm tired of these kind of online games with the campaign attached to it. In the long run, they depend on the multiplayer and the battle passes and buying cosmetics and ugh. Even all that stuff, it felt exactly like COD. I think Battlefield is losing respect for itself. I wouldn't be surprised if other people have noticed the same exact thing. Like, I think back in their heyday, they really held their own and stuck by their stuff, and now they're just kind of trying to sell out. And like, I'm sorry, Battlefield, you can't compete with COD. That's just how it is. I don't make the rules. And that's coming from someone who prefers Battlefield, who's much more into it. And COD players play Battlefield, Battlefield players play COD. They like multiplayer games, they like military games, they like campaigns, they like FPS games, shooter games, whatever the reasons. But it's almost like they're just tired of looking at COD become so commercially successful and all these things and that industry standard, and it's sad because it's like, you guys are doing just fine. You guys have always done exactly what you needed to do. You may not have all these simps worshipping you the same way as COD being a Twitch shooter and all it worries me, because if they keep up like this, and maybe they're just in some experimental phase, I don't know, they really do change it up each game, which is good. They don't really rinse and repeat the same as COD. Even COD has like all these different series, Black Ops, Modern Warfare, but they keep jumping from one to the other, and 7 Black Ops games. Hello. If that tells you anything. Granted, Battlefield, even both these games have a lot of games under their belt, and they've been around for a long time, even before like the more modern games like Battlefield 1 and 5, and I don't know if they're remakes or what the deal is. I know they've got older ones as well. And what is it? Battlefield is Call of Duty that used to be like Medal of Honor or something, right? Or something like that. But either way, these games have a history, and they've been butting heads for so long and competing and fighting, and but I like that. I like competition. It's PlayStation, Xbox, it's Microsoft versus Mac, it's fucking whatever you want to call it. It's Japanese consoles versus American consoles, or Western, I should say. I don't know. It just worries me because I don't want them to go down that road. Because that's all Battlefield has, is not being COD. That's their strength. And when they're trying to be COD, it's not a good look. I even played RedSec a while ago, free to play, whatever. I didn't bother. Played that for like a day or something. Maybe not even that long. I think I played that for like 2 or 3 hours. Might have won like one game. But you know, RedSec, they're other than Firestorm and 5, and they're trying to lean into that battle royale thing, PUBG and Warzone, and they're trying to do it all. Like they've got their own dedicated RedSec game, which is separate. They've got the campaign, they've got the multiplayer. But they're doing the whole hub thing, like, oh, you can access everything through one hub. So half the time you don't know if you're reinstalling the same things. You don't know if you're uninstalling things in one place but it's still installed in another. It's just so messy. I like to keep Battlefield around because there's a chance that I might want to come back to it and play the multiplayer, and there might be just a time and place to do that. Versus, oh, why would I ever want to start up COD again? I don't care for the multiplayer there. I don't care for the zombies. Maybe Warzone. Warzone can be fun. I definitely prefer that style, that format, or just go and play PUBG. I like that Red Sec's available. I think that is kind of nice. Pretty sure you still had to have multiplayer for that, right? Like, multiplayer access on console. But the point is, like, they're doing Red Sec, they're doing all these things, but one thing they didn't really, I think, focus on was the campaign. And it's one of those things you want to tell them, like, dude, if you're not gonna bother, just don't do it at all. But you don't really want to tell them that, because then that's exactly what might end up happening, is that they'll just stop completely. And that would be pretty sad. But you want them to ultimately do better, even if it's tough love or just... It was still fun. It was like watching a military movie. It was, oh, you got the... You know, everything they were doing kind of worked. But there was like a dude who looked just like the guy in Black Ops 6, I think. Here's another guy who looked just like Ghost from COD Ghosts. I don't know, man. It's like they're trying to... They're trying to be COD, they're trying to be Rainbow Six, they're trying to be like Resident Evil Hunk. They're trying to do like... Contaminate. It's just getting... They're getting weird. They're veering away from their grounded foundation, their concrete, down to earth type of thing. I think the other games is, and sure, some of the other, like Battlefield 1, for example, it was a very different time, like historically and just time-wise. But I think there was so much more courage, there was so much more bravery, there was so much more like the shit that inspires you, and these guys are real heroes and out there defending you and doing the right thing and trying to weirdly obtain peace and like fight off the bad guy and just all those things. And then this one, it was just like, they're just some dudes running around, there's some dickhole doing dick things, and that was about it. There wasn't really much emphasis on like... It was very forgettable. It was very non-memorable. Like you just... by the time it gets to the end of it, you just kind of want it to be over. Fortunately, I was only able to put in like an hour or two at a time until like when I started to kind of wrap it up. So it did kind of drag on for me because it's just my schedule-wise and time and all that, but... Which definitely didn't help. It should be a campaign you should do in like one sitting, a day or two, 8-ish hours, and then maybe a couple hours the next day or whatever. Or just do 10 hours in one sitting, I don't know. The multiplayer was better.
Objective Charlie has been secured.
You know, the multiplayer was... It was addicting, it was fun, it was... I love all the sound effects. You were really up in the shit. You didn't have some crap half-ass story. You just got in your tanks, you did your thing, you ran around, you know, it does what Battlefield does best, and I hate to even say that, but like even in the campaign, there's like one tank section which was awful. There was like a whole battalion of tanks, which was really cool, but they were like getting in your way, and everyone kept just killing everything, which is less work for me to do. But it's like, why am I even playing, dude? They're killing everything. It's not even just the tanks; it's the infantry. And I know this is one of those games where the further you move up and the more work your companions do, the AI, and there are times where you need to do your thing to have them specifically kill guys, whoever's in front of you at a certain distance, which can help. And you can die so quick, and you only get like 2 revives, and you gotta do it. Oh, it's just, oh man. And of course the AI was just fucking spot on, laser focused, shooting me through walls. There's a grenade that it literally phased through the wall. I have a clip of it. I threw a grenade and it just I'm like, what the hell, dude? And that's kind of where, aside from the special forces look, that's where it kind of reminded me of Rainbow Six, like all the bullshit of how you can just shoot through someone through a wall, and it's like, since when? They've never done stuff like that, have they? I know they're definitely leaning into the modern technology side, and like that is a very common thing, I would say, now to do versus like World War II warfare and things like that. But I don't know. And the bad guys looked very stupid. The campaign, that they just wore dumb bicycle helmets. They look like, you know, your typical private army mercenaries. They're like clearly the bad guys, but they're fitted to be these kind of dorks. It's like when I was just rewatching Batman recently, The Dark Knight, when those fake Batman were trying to like copy Batman, but they were just wearing like hockey pads, and that's what these guys remind me of. Just dopey. Like there was definitely a budget there with all their equipment, but it just looks so cheap, and I don't know. The multiplayer I didn't really have any problems with. I mean, you're kind of busy fucking shit up, so you're not really looking at all these little details of how bad the game actually is, but multiplayer did well. I was getting all my hits. Like it took a while for me to adjust to it and get used to it, and because aside from that little bit with RedSec and then the campaign, it was a very different thing. And I just did the conquest. I didn't bother with the other stuff, just their main flagship mode. But they have so many different weird modes now. I don't even do like the smaller stuff, the medium to small scale, blah blah blah. There's some tank hogs, tank whores. I kept spamming, grabbing all the tanks, and you got your typical bad drivers who go too fast. They don't take their time. They don't strategize. They're not strategic. They're not tactical. They just rush in, die, get shot, and then we lose. Typical Battlefield players. It's like, dude, tanks, especially like vehicular warfare, man, it's a very different. You don't rush that shit. You gotta keep your distance, and like I love tanks. I've watched so many documentaries of it, and they're just so damn cool. It's a giant gun on wheels, not even wheels, like treads. But unless I'm a gunner doing what I can, and there's usually a driver that's just such crap. I'd love to drive, if anything, or especially have obviously like a gun to use. I didn't even bother with the. I think I got on one helicopter and it went to shit real quick. I'm not good at flying. Got some good shots with the sniper. I just can't get over the campaign. There was so many bad moments. Like you have like your defensive line, like, oh, you have the rest of the guys kind of right around here, and you have all the guys over here. But then literally out of nowhere, I'm like shooting a guy like 100 yards away or whatever. I don't know. Fucking all of a sudden I'm crouching, I'm proning, I'm in my spot, dude, and there's five. I go out of my gun. There's five dudes hovering around me, shotgunning me point blank, rushing up to me. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Some games do that too. Their AI is so bad. They don't keep their distance. They just kind of run right up to you and come up behind you and do a little bitch pussy shot and shoot you right in the back. They don't fight you head on. They just... Well, that's the thing. Either they're fucking scoping my ass from halfway across the map, or they're fucking... It was just insane. I was just doing regular normal 2 mode and I was like, why am I getting my ass kicked? Jesus Christ, there's some sections, like you get throttled sometimes and you get bottlenecked. It was just so stupid. Your teammates are just sitting there like a dumbass, or... It was just a bad experience. There's a lot of glitchy bugginess. There was like guys spazzing out and all these weird movements and just all over the place. I'm literally like traumatized from the campaign. Like I haven't played something that shitty since literally Cyberpunk, like I said earlier. I was like, god damn, I haven't seen a game this terribly optimized in so long. Jesus Christ. It wasn't even like 1 or 2 things, it was just kind of like everything. Where it did look good, it looked good and it worked great, but where it didn't, it fell so bad. It fell so far. You can definitely tell it's almost like they didn't even finish it. They're just like, no, the campaign's done, let's move on to the multiplayer. It's there, you know, now people can't bitch about it. Oh, it's frustrating. Because you get that giddiness, that excitement, like before you play, like, oh, I've been waiting for a while to play this, I want it, I'm excited, I love military stuff, it's fun. And then if not, well, yeah, literally from the very beginning, and then slowly just went downhill. You started just to notice more and more things, different things, or the same things rather, repeatedly, that just kept like... Ugh. I wanted to quit halfway. I was like, why am I playing this garbage, dude? It wasn't even worth it, the experience. If anything, I was just gonna complete it and play it anyway. It's an easy-ish game to get through, but it's still frustrating. And usually I'd like to do campaigns before the multiplayer, because then you get some little bit of extra stuff to lean into the multiplayer. Oh, you get an extra badge or banner or title, or like an extra gun or something weird. I don't know. There's usually rewards for doing the campaign, because they know that most people aren't patient enough to have the tolerance to even bother with the campaign and just go straight to the multiplayer, or come back to the campaign and do it later, or they might not do it at all. Like me, I'm like, dude, it's campaign, then multiplayer, every time. Why the fuck would I do it backwards? Some people don't care for the campaigns, which is funny, because that's half the game, but they're also becoming so bad too that I kind of don't blame them for just skipping it entirely, if anything. Because they are getting arguably worse every time. You think they would have came back a lot stronger after 2042 because I know that got some backlash. I was pissed. It's like, I'll play the damn thing, dude. It's still Battlefield. It's still fun. There is a multiplayer to consider, and I do that here and there. But I mostly play single player stuff, and I want to be immersed. I want engagement. I want to chill and relax, which isn't, it's not saying this is a chill, cozy game, but I'm not sitting there just, shooting people all day, every day either. Like in the multiplayer, but even you're doing that in the campaign didn't slow down for like a minute. It just kept like, dude, can we chill for a second? Can we like take our time? You get the cutscenes, but they're pretty brief. I couldn't even fucking hear what they're saying half the time because I'd have to like turn my volume up and down. It's just like, oh, we're taking 5 steps. Oh, enemies. Oh, take another 5 steps. Enemies again. It's like, dude, you can have some sections. Don't be afraid to like make it more realistic. That's like their whole goal, isn't it? As far as I'm aware, that's what I thought. Like, hey, we're actually walking for a bit, doing some infiltration, some recon. We're doing a stakeout. We're gathering intel. We're, chatting, yapping. We're chilling. We have like a base camp maybe, or a hub area, something. That's where I think some COD campaigns actually did it a little bit better. Like they really made it very cinematic and very open-minded, and here was just like, oh, let's just, it felt rushed. It really did. It felt like they just didn't care. They didn't take their time. Like, you didn't care about your squad members, you didn't care about the characters you were playing as, you didn't care about the people around you, the other people that were included that you didn't necessarily play as, but like, it was so cool. It was definitely worth playing at all. It wasn't so bad that you should like dismiss it or anything, but it just wasn't. And it is its own game. You shouldn't have to compare it to the other games. It's not always fair because, like, this is its own game, but it's hard to not compare them because it is Battlefield and they have their formula, they have their style. People come to this product, they buy this and consume it because they know what they're getting. Yeah, I guess at the end of it all, the end of the day, it's just, hey, it was a bad campaign. It's still a decent game, but it's just not as good as the other ones. I mean, that's the only simplest way to put it is, and that's okay. Sometimes you get some stinkers, and not every game is going to be perfect or better than the other. Now that there's enough of them, you can really kind of compare them all. But the fact that, as far as I'm concerned, every Battlefield game I've played beforehand, aside from even Hardline, was kind of actually fun. It was just, I don't remember what went bad with that. It just didn't, like, something was glitchy or buggy or wasn't working or something. I don't know. But those games, I had such a good time with those. I can picture it all. Certain levels, certain areas, certain characters. You were following people's real stories, and it's like you were really there back in time and doing these things and living through these people's eyes and being in their shoes, and I get goosebumps just like thinking about it. And then this game is just, it's literally the definition of mid, and man, it's just not, it doesn't have that punch, that oomph. But thankfully that there is a multiplayer to make up for that. It was fun doing different things. There's like an anti-tank, anti-air gun tank thing, vehicle. There were some good runs where I was in a tank the whole time and you're surviving, you're getting a bunch of kills, you're doing your thing. debating on going from engineer to recon. Had some decent people that actually revived you and that helped you and fix your tank, and there's still that camaraderie there. There's still that bond there. I think people that do play Battlefield, they really, or you'd like to think, right? They're good people and they stick by their shit and they know what they're doing, and hopefully they're smart, and they're a very different community from like COD players, and they're more kind of level-headed and balanced. And yeah, I mean, shit, I played the multiplayer for like 9 hours. I had a way better time doing that than the entire campaign, which was only about 10-ish hours average. I don't remember exactly how long it took. The multiplayer is so fun. You're like, next thing you know, it's been 9 hours. You're like, shit, man, where'd the time go? Like, you're having... It's rough, and I got pissed most of the time. I was like, oh, fuck this. Oh, this sucks. Oh, this is dumb. Typical multiplayer chatter. But ultimately, I had a good time. It's just a shame that the campaign was so bad, and it's not a good example to set when, you know, like, dude, who cares about the long term? If you're depending that much on the multiplayer down the road, now, later, microtransactions, this and that, make a better first impression with the campaign, mate. It's like when you see someone who's hot, that's the first thing you notice. They're hot, they're attractive. First impressions, first 5 seconds, greetings, and make the campaign good, better. I was about to get rid of those HD textures, but I didn't know if that would have made the game look worse or better, smoother. Because it looked good enough where you don't want to lose that detail, but I think that's what was holding the game back too. It was just... But I didn't want to uninstall them, then reinstall them. I was trying to figure out a way to really just make the game better, but that's just the way it is. You can go through the settings all day and it's not going to change anything, and it's not even like a typical game where they're like, hey, do you want this balance? Do you want graphical heavy? Do you want performance? Oh, that's another weird thing. I couldn't even do performance. Like, it was so like I was getting screen tearing. I was like, screen tearing on a console game? There's only one other game that's done that to me before. It was Rainbow Six Siege. And I don't know if it was like VSync or blah blah blah. I eventually figured out a way to fix it, but I was like, what the fuck? Normally you'd want performance, you want those better frames. I had to go graphically heavy. Or they didn't even have a balance. Or it was performance and balance. They didn't even go just high fidelity. So the balance did still have the performance and the graphical heaviness. But I don't give a shit about the graphics, man. I want it to look good, but even if it looks a little smoother than you'd like it to, I'd prefer the performance ultimately. That's just what you want every time, every game. Doesn't matter what it is. That's how it is. Period. For some reason, this game was making you choose a bit of both, which is weird. Which is good because you still get that performance out of it, but at that point, if I'm not getting the performance, just give me the fucking graphical part of it. But you know what's funny, why I don't think they even did that at all, is because usually when you do that, the game gets even worse. It gets framey, it gets... If it's not screen tearing, it's frames. So... Luckily they had the balance. That was the only way to play the damn thing, the campaign. I don't know if they kept things semi-separate or not between the campaign and the multiplayer as far as that goes. Because they were pretty specific with like, hey, multiplayer HD, campaign HD. But between all these different kind of things that they had going, I don't know. Either way, life goes on. This game sucked. It was good. It was bad. It was okay. Yeah, that's it. Battlefield 6.